Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming in this morning and helping us out with this. I think it's going to be very helpful. Why don't we start with introducing yourself and the school that you are at, and if you're new this year or if this is your second year or more there.
I'm Rachel Rennick. I'm at Blackwell Elementary School, and this is my second year at Blackwell.
I'm Krista Lyman. I'm at Powers Ferry Elementary. It's my first year here in Cobb and at Powers Ferry, and my 7th year public school teaching, 15th year teaching overall.
My name is Kate O'Sullivan, and I am at Still Elementary School, and this is my second year teaching ever and my second year in Cobb ever.
Hi, my name is Jared Leach, and this is my first year teaching, and I'm at Ackworth Elementary.
Hi, my name is Colette Harris. This is my second year teaching at Teasley Elementary and my 6th year teaching overall.
Okay, thank you. Well, why don't we start with your year now and how you feel about how your year is going, and what do you think is going well with this school year? Let's start with our newer people that are new to Cobb this year.
Okay. Prior to me, there was a individual that was in the position for 1 year, and prior to him, there was somebody that was there for 20 years. So what I've heard is that there was not a lot of joy happening in the room, and I know I've come in with a really different approach. The kids are singing, they're moving, they're playing instruments, pretty much all 3 of those activities every day, and the kids really seem to be enjoying it. And at the end of class, a lot of them want to show what they've done to their teachers. So I think I've started to, with the help of my predecessor for 1 year, started to kind of turn that ship, bring up a bit of joy back for the students.
Thank you. And Justin?
So just how we think the year is going, right?
Yes.
Overall, I think it's pretty good. I think I have a good support system, and that's really important. I have a lot of different teachers I reach out to for help, and so that's helped me, I think, to be more successful. And yeah, I think the first couple of months there's sometimes a little bit of a struggle, but I think I'm connecting well with the kids, and we seem to have a lot of fun. So.
Fantastic. Colette?
So I'm in my second year, and I think the nice thing about being in your second year is just having roots established and feeling like I know the kids a lot more, a lot better. The first year is kind of like learning everything, figuring out the kids, and now having those relationships built, to me, is what makes the learning a lot more fun. And then knowing kind of their strengths and how to play to that when you're in the classroom of, okay, I know this kid loves this, and I know this kid loves this, and I can pair them together and see what happens. So just having those roots is really nice.
Thank you. Would anybody like to add anything about what would have made your first year more helpful? Any knowledge that you could have gotten ahead of time that would have been beneficial to you?
I think having a really supportive and wonderful mentor, I had that in Michelle Champion. But I think having that person to kind of guide you all the way along is wonderful. I think that it would sometimes be helpful to have it kind of varied, because this is my 10th year teaching. I don't need someone to come in and watch or observe necessarily all the time, and I think that was one of the parts of the mentorship program that was happening when I started last year. I do enjoy the opportunity to be able to go and observe, but I think the logistics and the expectations of the county are more what I need as a first year teacher, understanding that if I need to talk to somebody about the logistics of the Choral Festival, who do I go to? Who is my point of contact? And of course, your mentor should be that point of contact. But if they're busy preparing their own groups, then who else can I contact about that? Where can I go to find out the information that I need? I think that we're doing a great job right now, currently, of pulling resources, because it's been since I was in student teaching that I've done any kind of elementary or any kind of choral festival. So I think pulling our resources and talking about, this is what I like to do with my group, talking about, what are my expectations when I get there, that kind of thing would be really helpful. And I think, honestly, that first year, I think that the Elementary Choral Festival is kind of a bear. It's a beast. Because a lot of elementary teachers come in thinking, I don't have to do that stuff, that's not my world. I think that first year would be a great learning year. So if someone could provide, and I know that Dr. Woodruff will, provide a professional learning day for us to come in and watch and maybe even be a part of the process and, and just observe the first year. I think that would make the second year even easier. And it won't seem as much of a big beast that second year. So.
Thank you. Good comments. Does anybody want to talk about something that you feel has gone really well this year, and what made it go well for you? What did you feel good about that performance or the piece that you did?
I'll say, so this, when I came into the school that I'm at, the principal that I had gave me a lot of freedom to kind of come in and really just dream and have the opportunity, like it wasn't a set, you have to do this, but to really come in and dream about, if like what would be my dream for a program, like for kids to have. And so she's really let me dabble in those things. And so I think with me, I love taking stories because my mom was a librarian, so it's kind of a way to honor her, and putting music to them and just having creativity with that through singing and instruments and movement. And so I would say just being able to go in and try things and not be afraid to fail, because I think if something's worth doing, it's worth failing, You're like, all right, I'll try it, see what happens, but the reality is in 30 years, I'm going to be a different teacher than I am now. So I think if I could give any advice with that, it would be just go in and know what you're passionate about and really dream about it. Like, what do you want for the kids? What do you have? Because elementary music is so varied and it's so much fun because we get to do so many different things, and there's not just one right way to go about it. So go in, be yourself, take risks, and don't be afraid to ask people.
Yes, that's one thing that. So this is my name is Kate, and I'm a second year teacher in Cobb. One thing that my cooperating teacher, one advice that she gave me when I was student teaching in college was never stop asking questions. And I'll say that I ask a lot of questions, but to have those questions be well received here in Cobb, I feel especially blessed at my school at Still. My principal and my team, my art teacher, PE teacher, and STEM teacher, are very open and receptive to questions. And just knowing as a first year teacher, like, okay, yeah, sometimes they're going to tell me no, but sometimes they're going to tell me yes. But yeah, like as Colette said, they're allowing me to take leaps and to ask questions and dream and have those dreams become reality. Another thing that's gone well for me is taking my passion and putting it to use in the way that I teach my students. So I feel like there was a lot of expectation that first year I came into Cobb, like, this is how we teach, this is how you do it, you've got to be ORF certified, blah, 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 blah. And I want to be ORF certified. I'm doing that this summer. I think that teachers should already have that before they come into Cobb. I would have already liked to have had that because I think it could have enhanced what I'm doing. But what I am doing is I love composing, and so I'm putting that into my teaching and helping my students know what are the elements of music and how do we write a song. And now we're going to start using the iPads to record all that and make a commercial and do like a collaborative activity with the STEM teacher and the art teacher, and it's going to be really fun. So I think that that's gone really well, just like being able to ask questions and be able to dream and be able to be well received by your principal and by your team. It can be, I know a lot of people weren't as lucky to have a team that received them well or to have a principal that received them well, but I feel like I've really had that opportunity. Yeah.
If there is one, I think, big nugget that I've learned in my 2 years here, or this being my second year, is that there are so many veteran teachers, so many master teachers in this county alone that, I mean, you also, yes, you have to do your thing and you have to explore and find what you enjoy doing and kind of grow from that, but then also be receptive, because there are so many people here that I have learned from in our CCC groups and then in our countywide meetings that have so many different strengths that it has made me a better teacher just by listening to the things that they are doing in their classroom. And so I think that has made this year even better than last year, because we are doing these different professional learning days, and just to just be open and listen, and of course share what your strengths are, but then soak in all of the things that you're learning in the different professional development days and your CCC groups.
That's true. In a county as large as Cobb County, when you've got 69, is it, elementary schools, 68, 69 elementary schools, and some schools are very large, some are small. It's so different throughout the county that it's nice that we honor each other, and that even the veteran teachers are learning from newer teachers, and we all share and learn from each other. If there's something that you could share with a brand new teacher coming in, say next year, what is it that you would give? What advice would you give to them?
I'm going to kind of piggyback off what they said,
Okay.
like, especially in your first year. Like, I think the most helpful thing to me has been, I have my mentor, which I communicate with a lot. But I mean, have like 5 other mentors, like meet people in the county, because everyone wants to help you. They want you to succeed. So, reach out to as many different people, because you're going to get all these different perspectives. And that's going to help make you a more unique teacher, I think, because everyone has different, like she said, different strengths, different weaknesses, different things that they do. So yeah, that to me has just been so helpful, is coming in and there's no everyone's very supportive, and that helps me feel okay with, like she's talking about, even failing. Like if you have a bad lesson, like it's okay. If you do something, like everyone has those lessons. Like every teacher I've talked to, because I remember the first lesson I had that just went horribly wrong, and you're like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, maybe I need to go do something else. But like, it's totally okay. Everyone has those, and you just learn from it and you keep going. And sometimes those mistakes are how you learn the most. So.
And definitely, when it comes to like the way that you can make your strengths better, as Rachel was saying, I know for me personally, I love, as I said, composing. Well, I reached out to Andrew Giacaris, who taught me how to use the iPads. I had this whole iPad cart in my room. Like, I have no idea what to do with this, and everyone keeps talking about how, the apps are changing. Here's how to download the apps. Here's what you need to know, and it was a lot of information. But to have somebody like actually put together like a resource page of like, here's what you need to know, here's a checklist of what needs to be on them so you can use them properly, and so you can allow your kids to record those compositions. Like, here's what you need to know. Like, having a page of that, like a resource manual, was so helpful. I wish I had that my first year, but I'm glad I have it now.
I think too, just like remembering why you do what you do, because your first year is, you will have a to-do list that never ends, and it can feel really overwhelming. And I think sometimes, like for me, I can get bogged down in the to-do, and then I can lose the joy sometimes if I'm focusing on that. So I think just focusing on, if you're a teacher, obviously you love kids, and you have something passionate that you're passionate about that you want to share with them, and just remembering like what is really important, and putting your heart into that. And the other stuff will get done.
It can be hard to remember that, but it's so good to remember that.
I think remembering and adding on to what you guys are saying, remembering why you're doing what you're doing. I think that some people, especially those who have, I came from outside of Cobb, hearing about the excellence of Cobb, and so that can be intimidating, coming in from as an outsider and feeling like an outsider. But I think remembering not the standard of excellence, there is a standard of excellence in Cobb that is, bar none. But I think that standard of excellence is only so high because our job is to instill passion and a love of music in our students, and just remembering that on a daily basis. Okay, yes, I have to do X, Y, and Z, and this is all on my to-do list, but as Colette was saying, remembering why we're here is, it's not necessarily to build an excellent program, but to build music makers, to build lifelong music makers, and to build that love of music.
In terms of functionality, I think it's really important, as these guys have already said, to find those mentors and allies and friends to help mentor you and answer those questions. But it's also really important, at least it was for me, maybe because I have some experience coming in, to find people in my building that can help me with some of the things that I may not want to bother my mentor with, like how to use Synergy, and things that didn't get covered in pre-planning. I have a 5th grade and a 3rd grade teacher across the hall from me, and of course an art teacher, but he was saddled with a new music teacher and a new coach this year, so he's had to kind of help both of us out and guide us, and he really sat down with us and went through a list of, here's the things that our principal expects of you, just have a heads up about this. But I can say the 5th grade and 3rd grade teacher across the hall have been really lifesavers too. They really have my back when they've learned of something that's coming down the line. They say, hey, they want that. Sometimes the specials areas teachers get missed on. You know, they let the classroom teachers know, but they forget to tell us, or they think it doesn't apply to us, but they want to say, hey, you know, they expect us to review all of the minor and major behavior expectations in classes when we come back this week, but we wouldn't necessarily get that memo. So, or hey, by the way, we have this meeting next week, but it's not on the calendar. So find those people in your building that can help you in addition to your kind of specials team that will have your back and that you can go to for those little silly questions that you might need a demonstration firsthand, as well as your music mentors and friends.
Another thing in the vein of mentors, though, I had a very good mentor. She was a veteran teacher and just had an excellent program and a love for music. But she was also retiring that year and had a student teacher. And so I think missed out on the opportunity to have like a really good relationship with the mentor because she was so busy. I think it would have been helpful to have a mentor that was maybe a little less, everyone's busy, but maybe somebody that didn't have a student teacher and maybe wasn't retiring all in the same year. That was quite a lot. So I was lucky to have, and as others were saying, like find other people who can answer your questions. That was great.
Well, thank you. I think it's all about relationships and finding those people that can help you build yourself as a teacher and reaching out and asking for help. And we certainly hope this will be helpful for our future teachers in Cobb. And so on behalf of all the music teachers and future music teachers and Dr. Woodruff, thank you for being here today.